This podcast is proud to be part of the Talk Sport Fan Network. Talk Sport. Powered by fans.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows home so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all on the app. Download today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Like Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This podcast is proud to be part of the Talk Sport Fan Network. Talk Sport. Powered by fans.
This podcast is sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City Official Supporters Clubs. I'm your host, Craig Courtney, and we're looking forward to the next Blues game and finding out what our opposition fans think. Sit tight and enjoy the next edition of The Away End. Hi, welcome. It's been a few weeks, but we're back with another edition of The Away End. There's a big difference this time, though. We are scoring goals, and we're scoring goals at home for fun. The last 3 home games have seen 12 goals scored in total, only conceding 1. Never, ever did I think that I would say that as a Birmingham fan. And it goes back many, many, many moons since we last did that. But this time, who fancies some Monday night football? Thanks to Sky, we see ourselves yet again on the television. So Birmingham, last Wednesday against West Brom, now Monday night against the Hornets. But we'll be taking on Javier Gracia's team on an 8 o'clock kickoff on Sky TV. And let's face it, each time we've done that, the games have been pretty poor. Let's hope it's not the case this time. We go on the back of a 1-1 result at the Hawthorns on Wednesday evening, which was a hard-fought game. Definitely, as Groovesy used to say, a game of 2 halves. First half, awful. Second half, we were the team on the front foot and could have gone on to win that game. So it was a much improved second half, and I am sure that the rocket that Chris Davies gave the team at half-time certainly had an impact. The Hornets come into the game now on a fantastic unbeaten run at the moment. In the last 5, I think we've seen 3 draws and 2 wins, which is a great set of results and actually not too far behind in what is an incredibly tight league. We're joined by Peter from Don't Scratch Your Eyes podcast. So, Peter, thank you very much indeed for joining us on the away end to go through the upcoming game. Before I ask, I think I know the answer. Don't Scratch Your Eyes has to be linked to that infamous penalty save, ball lobbed down the field, Troy Deeney whacking it in and taking you through in the playoff game, if I remember rightly. Is that correct? Am I right for a change?
You're very nearly correct. It's do not scratch your eyes, because we have to go with it to the literal nth degree in terms of the commentary. Everybody calls it don't scratch your eyes or don't scratch your eyes out, but it's do not scratch your eyes. And yeah, it comes from that goal where Knockaert of Leicester found a very heavy piece of gravity on the Vicarage Road pitch, went down like somebody just taking him out with a sniper rifle, and then missed the penalty not once, but he also missed the rebound. And with 15 seconds later, we're down the other end, and the ball comes across to Troy Deeney from Jonathan Hogg, who for once, strange miracles were happening, was in the opposition box. Normally, he just stands on the centre circle at the time, and Troy Deeney hit it, and you know we've I'm sure similar to Load of Blues podcast as well, but we spent 4 hours with Troy the other year and said, you know, you got to tell us about that goal, because we're named after your right foot. And there you go. That's it. That's the one. Do not scratch your eyes.
And you know, actually, Troy is one of those that he obviously was doing his pods himself. He's been involved in the different punditry. We haven't actually had the opportunity ourselves to speak to him, but we would love to. So you know that at the end of this, I'm going to be tapping you up. So we'll see how we go. But always good games, I think is fair to say. Friend of the show, Tommy Moon, who I know with yourselves was on your show as well. He often talks about the game in the playoffs at St Andrews and how walking out into, as it was, the opposition's ground and an atmosphere that it was like he hasn't experienced before. And he was saying how hostile things could be and stuff like that. And that feel-good factor has definitely returned to St Andrews over the past few weeks. I mean, what can we say? We've seen the plans for the new stadium, 62,000, seen from 40 miles away, 12 chimneys.
Yep.
And a bar at the top of some of them. So it's going to be amazing. And to top it all off, built and available within the next 5 years. Then Knighthead take full control of our club. We can finally say goodbye to the Chinese, and Knighthead really have, well, they've just turned things around. And for those visiting Watford fans, you will see some of the differences that have just come about since you last came to St Andrews at Knighthead Park. And then just to top it off, we're doing well. We're on the front foot, playing some beautiful football. Dare I say, and I hope to see, the Ducks scoring his goal again. His beautiful celebration, absolutely love it. And I think 3 goals in 2 games now, so he is well on form. But overall, Birmingham have played Watford 52 times. We've seen Birmingham winning only 17 of those games. We have drawn 10 of them. You're definitely on top with wins at 25. In the last 5, oh God, this hurts. This hurts me to say this does. We've seen 1 draw and 4 losses as Birmingham fans. And in fact, the last time that we played you was a 1-0 loss at St Andrews back in March 2024. So I think we owe you. And I'll leave it until a bit later for the predictions. But tell us a little bit about what we can experience and expect from Javier Gracia's team. How do you set up? Where's your strengths? Where's your weaknesses? And most importantly, which key players do we need to keep an eye on?
Well, first of all, I'm very pleased that Dux does a recreation of our badge every time he scores a goal. It's always, everybody goes, "Why have you got a moose on the front of it?" Yeah, that's a long explanation. So in terms of Javi Gracia, we had a guy in at the start of the season called Paolo Pezzolano, who was basically just a bit of a lunatic and was making everybody's lives in the playing squad pretty much a living hell. And it was very unpleasant. We get lots of information come to us from various people, and they went from, let's be honest, Watford have got a habit of sacking managers. We all know that. It would be lovely not to have to do it, but everything that I heard was from day 3 of pre-season was this guy's a nightmare, and they got it wrong. And in a recent fans thing, they stated no, he got it wrong and corrected it. And we've gone back to Javi Gracia, who people may remember was our manager. They'll remember him being at Leeds and everything not working, but hey, it's Leeds. But for us, he did really well. It's just one of those things that, when Watford did well and we got through to the FA Cup final, we got absolutely pumped by Man City 6-0 in front of the entire world. But hey, we were at least there, and that's, some people will go, "Oh, stop apologizing for it. It was awful. It was awful." No, we were there. That, for me, that's enough. What he will tend to play is a 4-4-2 of sorts. So yes, a flat back 4. 2 will sit in front. It'll go from a 4-2, a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1, depending on, kind of quite what he puts out there. Mm-hmm. You'd expect to see the first player to look out for is Imran Louza, who's our French-Moroccan midfielder who can run a game on his own. A tremendous player. We've had him now for what, 4 or 5 years, and it's only last year under Tom Cleverley that we started to really see something out of him. His growth though is exponential. It's not stopped. Don't expect that we will see him after this summer. I imagine he would be on the move. So we will see how we go there. We've got Matty Pollock at the back, who's a no-nonsense sort of defender. Alongside him will be a guy called Kevin Kebben. I imagine Jeremy Ngaki will be at right back, and Mark Boller, who was formerly at Middlesbrough, will be on left back, I imagine. So he's done all right. We will have definitely, I would say, Nathan Baxter in goal as our Norwegian international goalkeeper. Egil Selvik is out injured for the moment. So that'll be our back five. Plus, as I say, the one in front there being Louza. Probably have Henry Kyprianou, who you guys will remember from the goal in the final for Peterborough. So, I'm sure he'll get some grief from there. And then there's a plethora of players that we can play wide. We've got a whole host of wingers / number 10s who might play, but we've got 3 very young centre forwards, and it depends whether we play as 2 or we play a single one being supported by them. So we'll see what happens. But we've got Luca Kiamgar, who is more often favoured. Got a guy called Mamadou Doumbia, who most people, I think, thinks has got the highest ceiling, and a very raw lad called Vivaldo, which, let's face it, is an excellent football name. Vivaldo Semedo. And he's quite raw, and he'll come on. But we'll play either a 4-4-2 where the 2 wide players kind of can go and get on, but they can also cut into midfield and kind of try to stifle things out as well. And that's what he kind of played a lot when he was here previously, and variations on a theme, as I say, going into a 4-2-3-1 is what we've seen. Kind of today. Really, really exciting players would have been, but for injury, would have been. Quadwo Bar, unfortunately, he's picked up a pucker hamstring. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. You'd also be looking at definitely if he is playing and if he's on form, but he's been sort of in and out and not quite. A lot of people will have seen a couple of his free kicks earlier on the season. A guy called Nesteri Irankunda, who's an Australian international, and he's explosive. He's really powerful. He can beat people, but at the moment, his decision making isn't quite up there at this moment in time, and you can see he gets a bit frustrated and what have you. So we just need him to kind of relax and realize he doesn't have to be Maradona every game. He can kind of just develop slowly. A lad who's been up in the, again, you won't see him, is a guy called Rocco Vata, but you might have seen him because he'd been making the news because he changed agent today or yesterday, and therefore Fabrizio Romano, kind of the guy who breaks all of the stories, has predicted that he's going to be going in the summer or maybe in January. Well, as he's got a hamstring / ACL, I doubt that's the case, but never stops. But he's a fine player. He's really one of those who had just started to do what we would like to see from Irankunda, i.e. just calm himself down a bit, give us a little bit more in other areas and show that little bit of maturity, because we're a very young side. So one of the things I think will be interesting from a Blues point of view is if you get at us, physically, it'll be interesting, because we've matched with the likes of Derby, but not before going 2-0 down. But then we've got it in our ability to kind of come back at teams as well. So we'll see. A lot of character, still young in experience.
And I think, you mentioned young and inexperienced, but I mean, if we look at Birmingham's side, and as you've probably seen, it is a proper mix of age and experience that sits within there. I mean, at the moment, what can we say? Chris Davies, one point we didn't get the results, things weren't looking too healthy, and people were beginning to question him. And then it was, I'll tell you what, I'll take your Water out of midfield, who's been and was a stalwart midfielder last season, scoring goals, and obviously scored the screamer of all screamers against Newcastle in the FA Cup. Yeah. And he went, he'll play right back. And as fans, we were all looking, going, what? He is no right back. This isn't right, But we've been proven wrong, because he has just been phenomenal, and he's given us something extra, because he's got that engine that will take him from being in a defensive position, and the next thing he'll be like on the edge of the 25-yard box having a go or threading a ball. And it's it's great to see, because off the back of that, we're then able to play two natural wingers. Roberts from Sunderland has just been immense, and we've then got Doyle in the centre of midfield, who is really showing his class in this league. Wolves, dare I say, I feel sorry for them, because they've got rid of a player there, albeit only on loan. No recall clause though, and they're struggling obviously in the Premiership.
Yeah, of course.
It's great from there, but then, as I mentioned before, we've seen Dutch now coming in with some goals, but just his presence has freed up space for Stansfield, and that's what we're seeing more and more and more of at the moment. They're playing off each other really well. Roberts whipping in balls, Dutch being on the end of some of them, Stansfield being on the end of others. We're creating opportunities, and whereas before we had shed loads of possession, but nothing hitting the back of the onion net, now we're getting to the point where actually we've given up that bit of possession. We do, and funnily enough, like you say, be interested if we go at you. We do go at teams, most definitely. But what we do see more and more and more of now is a very high press, to the point that the challenges and the stopping of the opposition starts in their half of the the pitch. So we're putting the pressure on early, winning those balls, which is then creating the opportunities. And of course, then your players straight away and your opposition are on the back foot. So it will be interesting. I would hope that we go into that game again with an unchanged side, bar any injuries or last minute changes. We did see one change on Wednesday, which was the reintroduction of Paik. Come back off his shoulder injury. You could tell the rustiness was there, but also, God, it's not pleasant with the injury that he had with that dislocation, and I totally get why we didn't see him going at 100% into certain tackles and various different things. But that in front of another raucous St Andrews and Knighthead Park's, fan base is going to be awesome. It's going to make, I think, for a really good game. The only thing that might spoil it, the weather, and yet again, it's going to rain. So we will see. Where do you think your biggest strength is at the moment?
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews all on the app. Download today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
It's the strength is the fact that we've got so many attacking second line players, if all of them are fit. But as I mentioned, Rocco Vata and Barr, who started off the season like a house on fire, both injured. But we've got the lad who came back from winning the under 20 or under 21 World Cup with Morocco, who's suddenly come into the team, and everybody was thinking, well, he's very young. His name's Othman Mama, and he played a couple of games, just like a few bits and pieces, and then he started against Preston and absolutely took control. We've got him, as I mentioned. You got Iran Kunda potentially there. We've also got Georgie Chakfadadze, who came back against Preston for the first time since April, and he is a hell of a player. He was one of those again who we'd had for a season or so, had looked okay, and then he went away to the Euros, and we were watching that Georgia side, who, if you remember, lit the Euros up and went, who's that lad? He's looking rather good. And we bring him in and then realise, oh, actually, we've already signed him. And he carried on since he's there. He wants to make the World Cup squad. if if they qualify through the playoffs, I suppose. But and he's really something as well. So we've got 5 or 6 players, and then you've even got that you can bring on in a myriad of places. Tom Ince, who can be an effective player at the Championship, even still now, as a senior player and as sees senior strength, he can be quite useful. So I think realistically, we've got a lot of options. The question is it's an interesting game to come to you guys because you are on your uppers. Not only obviously since the last few games in terms of doing all right, Middlesbrough excluded, but the fact that you got that momentum from last season, and as you described, the feel good factor, being there is really something. You mentioned, Tommy Mooney said, and he does, and he mentions it to everybody. He doesn't just he's not just blowing smoke up where the sun don't shine for you. He references that 99 playoff semi-final, which went to penalties and it came out to, but it's not just him who references that atmosphere and that level of intimidatory atmosphere, real hostility. He does it, but so do my co-hosts on the podcast as well, who just say we've never been somewhere where it felt so partisan. The crowd was so as one, and with all the great news about a new stadium, it's easy to forget, actually what an atmosphere St Andrews can create, or Knighthead Park, but call it St Andrews, please. And I think that's always going to be your 12th man. I think the new place looks really exciting, and especially the steep stands as an atmosphere to try to bring that in, because you look at somewhere like West Ham, and it's like you're out for a country stroll in a field somewhere, because you can just see a game somewhere over the horizon, and with this looks very, very different. So all of that feel good factor, all of that rabble rousing crowd, because we're Watford, we're not the loudest at home, and therefore we've got quite a young team. If you get us as a Championship side can, and as a Championship, and as Birmingham, shall we say, crowd can, then it'll be an interesting one to see the young players stepping up and trying to deal with that as well. They've got the footballing in them, but it's just you know what they say, experience is what you get after you needed it. Sometimes St Andrews can be an experience for an away team.
So do you think, is it fair to say your weakness is the fact that you've got a young side that perhaps are still bedding in and getting to truly know what the Championship is all about? Because I think Birmingham went through that. The people that came into the club, and they obviously, the people we'd signed last season to help us back into the division in the first place, none of them had experienced what it was like. And we did go through a stage where it was tough. It was very hard, and sometimes hard to watch, because you were thinking, my God, number one, where's our next goal coming from? Yeah. Then it's, people have found us out. But actually, a lot of it came down to that experience and the understanding of the way things are in this league. Obviously, friend of yourselves and friend of ourselves, Paul Robinson, has often said that this league is the toughest league, arguably, in the world. And it's got the biggest set of positives when you get out of it, because you're looking and you're thinking, my God, the Premier League, we're in there with the big boys, there's loads and loads of money, etc. But actually, the downside is, and look at this season, it's incredibly tough to see bar Coventry, and that really hurt me to say, but bar Coventry, there's teams are just beating each other and proving to be good games, but also, to me, I think it makes this league poor. People will disagree, but I just think it's a very poor league, and that actually you could argue that anybody from second down to 17th really probably has an opportunity of being the team that is going to go up, whether automatic or via those playoffs. But we'll see.
I think as a league, frankly, I disagree with you that it's a bad league, because if you'd have seen last season, then you'd have known this was an improvement. Obviously, yourselves and Wrexham coming up enhance that some. Some of the teams who went up into the Premier League and some of the teams coming down have strengthened it. But I agree with what you're saying is that you can throw. I looked at it. I haven't looked at it for a few days, so if it probably isn't right now. But the other day it was 6 points from third down to 17th, and you look at that and just go, that's just potty. But for me, that's the beauty of it. It's a very egalitarian league. Any team can beat any team, and as you say, with the exception of Cov, who when we went there we outplayed them, but we came off at half time, what 3-0 down and with a man sent off, and we'd outplayed them for literally the whole time. But they've got like muscle memory of how to score and get it, and you can't knock it. They're doing it, so we'll see. The rest of it, it's all up for grabs.
It is, and I suppose Coventry are sitting pretty, aren't they? 10 points clear at the top of the table, and like you say, scoring goals for fun. I don't think I could name another time where I can say that we've seen a team with a plus 32 goal difference this early in the season. But you look at the league and the way that it is. So 6th place, 29 points. Then there is only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Well, 9 points difference to 18th in the league. Yeah. It's just incredible. And Watford sitting there on 24 after playing 17. Birmingham just slightly ahead on the 25 after 17. But you look at the way that this could be, Birmingham could end up in just below the playoff positions with a win. But then Watford also pulled themselves into it, and we're going into that real silly season across the festive break. So time will tell. But for a change, you go into Christmas and you can normally predict who's going to win the league, who's going to look at second, and then you've got an idea for the playoffs. And actually going into this one, I don't think we'll be able to do that apart from God, I've said it again. But challenge for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Birmingham and Watford have had some fantastic players that have represented both clubs over the years.
Yeah.
I've mentioned one of them there, Paul Robinson. Now, Robbo, absolute legend, but at times was hated at Birmingham before he came.
Wow. Or before, yeah, fair enough.
But now everybody loves him for his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
But Robbo's not in this list that I want to go through. So what I wanted to do, if possible, is name 5 players that have actually transferred between the clubs over the years. Now, they can be permanent or loans. And there are some fantastic names, really are some fantastic names in there, one of which you've already mentioned.
Yeah, Tommy Mooney left us to go to you when Graham Taylor was hanging up his boots. I know that much. So we're talking direct transfers.
Direct transfers between the clubs or loans. So
okay, well there's Tommy Mooney definitely. There's Troy Deeney because he left us, and everybody obviously there were young fans who were literally in tears that he was leaving, but we loved the fact he was coming back to his boyhood club. Obviously, we appreciate how things didn't quite turn out, but it was a lovely thing at the time. I remember assigning Paul Harding and Roger Willis directly from you, I think, or selling them on to you. I'm pretty sure they came in as some of the Barry Fry sort of conglomerate would have come in.
Definitely. Yeah. The other one, no, not a direct transfer between the two clubs.
Okay. Furlong went via Chelsea. Otherwise, you'd have had him in there. Let me think. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else?
You've got a
Diego
goalkeeper
Fabrini. Did
Diego
Diego Fabrini?
Fabrini is one of
Because
those.
he went on loan to Middlesbrough first, and then came back, and then I think you went and got him.
And we
Martin
had him
Taylor.
on loan as well, actually, to start
Yeah,
off
but then
with
you
before
signed
he
him out
signed
after.
permanently. Yeah,
Martin Taylor. I think he
Martin
came to
Taylor.
us straight from you.
Tiny Taylor,
Yeah, what
a
a player.
true gentle giant, and I tell you what, spoken to him a couple of times on the show, and he is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Lovely, lovely guy.
yeah. Let me think. I'm trying to think. No, Dave Holdsworth would have gone via Sheffield United rather than going straight to you. Kevin Miller, we signed. We had him on the other week, and we signed him from you because again he was jettisoned because you had, was it Ian Bennett
Indeed.
and Barry Fry couldn't. Well, he did choose between them, but did that. Ben Foster obviously came to you, but that came to us via West Brom, and obviously we'd had him previously from Man United on loan a couple
Yep.
of times. Is there any others who've gone direct?
Oh, so I mean, one of the names, I'm amazed that you haven't mentioned this guy because he was a legend at both clubs. He's got his picture in the subway.
Well, no, I said Tommy Mooney, didn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, Tony Coton. Tony Coton. Of course, Tony Coton.
Indeed. The legend that is. So
He escaped. Let's be honest. He escaped Birmingham and a prison sentence by coming to Watford. Bless him.
I'd say we have heard some stories and a half.
It's in his book, and the man is an utter legend, and absolutely loved and easily. And we said this to Kevin Miller. Everybody else at Watford, when we talk to goalkeepers, is fighting for second best goalkeeper after Tony. Unbelievable goalkeeper.
So other names, just before we go into that prediction time, Jerome Sinclair, we had on loan from yourself.
Yeah.
Dyer came from Birmingham to from yourselves as well. Jordan Much.
Yep.
Matt Sadler. And again, one that I expected that you would have come up with in, again, friend of the show, Paul Devlin.
I was going to say Devlin, but I thought he'd come from Sheffield United when we got him. I don't know why. There's so many players who play for Birmingham, Watford, and Sheffield United. It's ridiculous.
And the one thing you can turn around and say about all of them, actually, some of them are gentle giants, but we're never afraid to put their feet in. Others, absolute nutters, but perfect footballers when it came to it, because it epitomises both clubs. Hard-working, not afraid to stick your foot in. And you know what? We don't care whether we upset people either. So what can we say? Over the years, there have been some great ones.
Very good. Very good.
Couple of minutes left. So we get to that time where I have to say, Peter, can you tell me what your thoughts are regarding the game for Monday? What does your head say the score will be? And what does your heart say it will be?
I'm gonna defer it from me. I because on our podcast I kind of do all the organisation and the running, and therefore never have to normally be kind of narrowed down on it. But three people have gone for a Desmond Tutu, Tommy Mooney for one, and who am I to contradict? Playoff winners for both our teams, and a couple of other people, including we've got basically postal workers in Margate who have this small kind of estate that they go to, and they open up these mini boxes and they kind of predict the score, and that said 2-2, and at the moment they've got 3 times more than my colleagues in terms of predictive points. So I'm going to go with the Desmond Tutu. Stay with it. Yeah, why not? 2-2. I'll take that.
I mean, I think first of all, my heart says it'll be a close game. We are 2 incredibly decent teams at the moment, both on fine runs of form. So I think it will be very, very close. I'm going to go with a 2-0 to Birmingham, is what my heart says. I'm not going to lie. I'd love to turn around and say we're going to score another 4. And the way things are at the moment, they could do it. But I just don't think it will turn out that particular way. So I'm sticking with my prediction of a 2-0. But you know what? It'll be a very good game. on Sky TV that I hope the weather doesn't spoil. I will say to all of the Watford fans travelling up, stay safe, be prepared for what I'm seeing is horrible torrential rain. However, don't forget, the last time you came, things were just beginning to change at St Andrews. And boy, have things changed now. The new fan parks are open. The new one on the Cop has got its own little area as well under cover. The stadium's got its new boards inside. You get the fireworks, you get the flames. And what can I say? You'll get a raucous atmosphere. So, Peter, thank you very much indeed for joining us on The Away End, which is sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City official supporters clubs. Details of which you can find throughout the show or by visiting www.bcfcosc.com. And don't forget to search for your local group, because there'll be someone close to you. And if not, you can always set one up. So thank you very much. Here's to a great game on Monday. Hope the weather doesn't spoil it. Hope you enjoy it. I wish you all the very best for the rest of the season, apart from Monday and again in the next couple of weeks as well, which is going to be interesting down at your place. And thank you very much for joining us. Keep right on.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
You know you've reached peak couple energy when your undies match. MeUndies Match Me has you both covered, literally, in super soft ultra-modal undies, socks, PJs, and loungewear. Festive prints? Check. Cozy vibes? Double check. And right now, it's deal season. Get up to 50% off site-wide for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Take your couple game to the next level with MeUndies Match Me. To get deals up to 50% off, go to MeUndies.com/ACAST. Enter promo code ACAST. That's MeUndies.com/ACAST. Code ACAST.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.